In today's video, developing a learning organization through coaching with Carla Marschall. Hello, coaches! Welcome back to another episode of Coach Better Quick Tips. My name is Kim Capino, and I've worked with hundreds of teachers, coaches, and leaders in schools around the world to help them create thriving and sustainable instructional coaching programs. And I'm on a mission to help you coach better. Wherever you are in your coaching journey, we can support you. Come learn with me in one of our courses or private mentoring packages designed specifically for instructional coaches. Join our Coach Better community, ask any questions you'd like to hear us answer, and find all of our resources for instructional coaches on our website at coachbetter.tv. You can also find us on social media at Eduro Learning or in our Coach Better Facebook group, and subscribe to our channel here on YouTube to catch all of our latest videos. If you're not sure where to start, take our free quiz to get a tailored list of resources delivered straight to you and designed specifically for your level of coaching experience. Find it at coachbetter.tv/quiz. In today's episode, we're talking about developing a learning organization through coaching from a systems lens. This is a highlight from one of my favorite episodes from a previous season. If you're a longtime listener, you know that we often talk about how to develop structures and systems for sustainable coaching practices. In fact, there are a few recent quick tips episodes that highlight this topic, and I'll link them up here and in the show notes for you. Today's clip is another great example of that, featuring Carla Marschall, currently head of school at Dresden International School. I really appreciate this specific clip because of Carla's focus on systems thinking. She describes the ways that coaching can shape the culture of a school when we think about the school as a system rather than a hierarchy. If you like this clip, make sure to check out the full episode with Carla. I'll link it in the show notes for you. If you've been thinking about how to build a coaching culture, this episode highlights how to truly embed coaching in the fabric of your school. As I often say on the show, building a coaching culture is so much more than just hiring coaches. We have to be intentional about identifying how the existing systems and structures that already exist in the school will embrace coaching. We talk about this in another episode, 5 steps to move from hiring coaches to a coaching culture, which I'll link here for you and in the show notes. If this is a conversation you're having right now with your school leaders, make sure to download our free Leadership Quick Start Guide, which features many quotes from school leaders here on the podcast, just like this one with Carla, that will help you advocate for coaching in leadership language today. And if you're ready to dig deeper into being an advocate for instructional coaching in your setting, stay tuned to the end of the episode for another great learning opportunity. Okay, let's jump into the clip with Carla. For coaches or leaders who are listening to this conversation, when you kind of package that all up, what should schools be thinking about if they want to create this kind of environment where they're building this momentum towards coaching that you're describing right now? So like, what are the elements that you're putting in place kind of all together that would make sense for other schools to be thinking about as well?
Yeah, I guess, the big thing I would say is you need to have an umbrella under which coaching fits. That coaching shouldn't be this like standalone, like, oh, we need to do some coaching. And so framing it as we are a learning organization, we use Peter Senge's definition of a learning organization, which is about the ability of the organization to build its capacity to reach its highest vision of self. So this is a tool for us as an organization to grow in order to meet the mission and vision that we hold so dear. And with that umbrella, then we have strategies that we use to develop ourselves as a learning organization. And coaching is one of those things, but it's not the only thing. So for example, Peter Senge is also a big proponent of systems thinking. I think in our last call, we talked about systems thinking and how important that is to me as well. And developing ourselves as systems leaders, where we begin to understand the interactions between people, parts, policies, curriculum, everything else in our organization is also key to developing ourselves as a learning organization, because we can find those leverage points from which we can create systemic change. So coaching is one thing, systems thinking, systems leadership is another thing. And then, okay, why are we going to do the coaching? Well, it allows us to really listen to each other, pose really strong questions, develop ourselves without judgment or advice. It's coming from ourselves. And of course, we might choose to collaborate as opposed to coach. But we do want to create those opportunities of where there's strong psychological safety, where people feel like they can take risks.
Okay. I have to ask several questions based on that. You were talking, and I'm always taking notes, so I didn't quite catch what you said, but I want to hear a little bit more about the systems thinking and seeing yourself as a systems leader. That was super interesting. One of the things that I'm you were right. I'm great memory that you remembered we talked about systems thinking last time. One of the things I'm often talking about with coaches is helping them recognize that they are informal leaders in their school settings. And there's like informal leader in the sense of just I'm an informal leader. And then there's I'm an informal leader in the sense that I have this like systems view of the school without even realizing it. Like you just have it because you talk to so many teachers at so many different levels. How do you see this like systems? Tell me a bit more about systems leadership and how that works and how that intertwines with coaching. Because I want to hear you talk about that.
I have to think about that as an explicit connection. So I guess, one of the premises of systems thinking is that you cannot control a system. It's not hierarchical. So the circle, it would be a circle shape and not a triangle shape. When you think of a hierarchy, and it goes from the most people at the bottom and then up to the top kind of thing. So it's not a hierarchy. It's a circle where there's lots of different interactions and interconnections between people and parts within an organization. And so if you want to make change in an organization, what you need to think about is how the interactions between individuals in the organization relate back to the aims or the purpose of the organization. And so when we build a coaching culture and people change the way they interact with each other as individuals, that creates a ripple effect across the whole organization because it changes the culture. And so you have a fundamental shift from perhaps more transactional ways of interacting to people asking a mediative question, what might be some of the ways that and that changes the way people think and also then how they interact with their work as a practitioner, as an educator. And so I think that would be for me the piece around the relationship between the two is coaching enables us to create lots of agents of change that are autonomous and that are doing good work through the tools of paraphrasing, deep listening, posing questions. And through that, it shapes a culture that builds openness to reflection on practice, to growth. And that's, the process of transformation of a system.
You were like, I have to think for a minute. And then you said this beautiful thing, like perfectly with no ums or ahs or anything, just straight done. I tried to like write down what you said. I'm clearly going to have to transcribe this. Okay. So that was just like, in my brain as you were talking, this concept of the interactions and connections between people and shaping the organization through the way people interact. So kind of thinking about the way our interactions create the environment in which we work. Thanks for watching this clip with Carla. I truly appreciate this conversation because no matter where you are in your coaching journey, you need to be prepared to advocate for coaching. Even brand new coaches can often end up being the only one in their school setting who truly understands the value and purpose of instructional coaching. That's why we include coaching advocacy in all of our courses for coaches at the level that's just right for your experience. If you're not sure what I mean by this, check out some of these previous videos where we talk about coaching as leadership, embracing the informal leadership aspect of your role, and different ways that coaches are leaders. When you're ready to dig deeper, each of our 3 global cohorts will help you take the next step in your coaching advocacy, either as a brand new coach in getting started as an instructional coach, or as a current coach or an educator ready to build a coaching program in the Coach Certificate and Mentorship Program, or as a coach who's ready to lead in our course, Coaches as Leaders. If you're listening or watching this episode when it airs, our next global cohort that will be open for registration is Coaches as Leaders. If you're an experienced coach ready to advocate for instructional coaching in your setting, this is the course for you. Find all the details about all of our courses for coaches at coachbetter.tv/learn. Global cohorts open once a year. If you're not sure which course is right for you, watch one of our free workshops for instructional coaches designed for your experience level so you can take the next step in your learning right now and uncover which course might be right for you next. Find it all at coachbetter.tv/learn. Wherever you are in your coaching journey, we can support you. If you're curious right now or you have questions, please reach out. You can leave a comment below or on the show notes at coachbetter.tv. You can join our Coach Better Facebook group, or you can find us on social media at Eduro Learning and send me a DM. I'd love to support you on your coaching journey. See you next time.